Imagine a keyboard so legendary that people still hunt for it in attics, garage sales, and corporate liquidation auctions more than 3 decades after it stopped being manufactured. A keyboard so addictive that once you type on it, every modern keyboard feels like typing on soggy cardboard. This is the story of the IBM Model M, the keyboard that changed computing forever and created a cult following that refuses to let it die. The birth of a legend in 1985, IBM did something extraordinary. While most companies were racing to make computers cheaper and smaller, IBM's engineers were obsessed with a different question. What if we built the perfect keyboard? Not the cheapest, not the thinnest, but the absolute best typing experience money could buy. The result was the Model M, and it weighed nearly 5 pounds. Yes, you heard that right. This keyboard was so heavy you could use it as a weapon. In fact, there are countless stories of the Model M surviving house fires, floods, and even being used in self-defense. One Reddit user claimed their Model M stopped a burglar. Whether that's true or not, the keyboard definitely could have done the job. The secret sauce, buckling spring technology. What made the Model M special wasn't just its tank, like construction. It was what IBM engineers called buckling spring technology. Each key sat atop a tiny spring that would buckle and hit a contact pad when pressed. This created 3 things that changed typing forever. First, the legendary click. That satisfying clack, clack, clack sound that announced to everyone in the office that you were actually working. The sound was so distinctive that you could identify a Model M from across the room. Second, tactile feedback. You didn't just hear the key press, you felt it. That precise moment when the spring buckled told your fingers exactly when the keystroke registered. No mushy uncertainty, no wondering if you pressed hard enough. Every key press was definitive. Third, resistance. The Model M required about 70 to 80 grams of force to actuate. Modern keyboards often need less than 50 grams. This might sound like a disadvantage, but it actually reduced typing errors dramatically. You couldn't accidentally brush a key and trigger it. Every key press was intentional. Built like a tank, the Model M wasn't just designed to work well, it was designed to outlast the apocalypse. The case was made from high-quality ABS plastic that didn't yellow or crack like cheaper keyboards. The internal steel backplate added structural rigidity, and most of that impressive weight. IBM rated the Model M for 25 million key presses per key. To put that in perspective, if you typed 40 words per minute for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, it would take you approximately 20 years to reach that limit. And even then, most Model M keyboards kept working. The keycaps used dye sublimation printing, meaning the legends were actually dyed into the plastic rather than painted on top. You couldn't wear the letters off these keys, no matter how hard you tried. Some Model M keyboards from the 1980s still have perfectly legible keycaps today. The golden age throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Model M became the standard keyboard for serious computer users. It shipped with IBM PSK2 computers and became so synonymous with quality that PS2 connector is named after those computers. Writers loved it. The positive feedback made it easier to get into a flow state. Programmers swore by it because the tactile feedback reduced coding errors. Even gamers, before gaming keyboards existed, discovered that the Model M's reliability made it perfect for marathon sessions. In offices worldwide, the sound of dozens of Model M keyboards created a symphony of productivity. That distinctive clacking became the soundtrack of the digital revolution. The fall, but then something terrible happened. In the mid-1990s, computers became consumer products. The race to the bottom began. Companies realized they could make keyboards for $2 instead of $20. Shareholders loved the margins. Consumers loved the lower prices. In 1991, IBM sold its keyboard manufacturing to Lexmark. The Model M continued production, but the writing was on the wall. Thin, quiet, cheap keyboards flooded the market. The Model M started to look like an expensive dinosaur. By the mid-1990s, offices began replacing their Model M keyboards with budget alternatives. Millions of these legendary keyboards ended up in dumpsters and recycling centers. It was a dark time for typing enthusiasts. The cult awakens, but here's where the story gets interesting. As cheap keyboards proliferated, people started to notice something. Their fingers hurt, they made more typos. Typing felt unsatisfying and exhausting. And they remembered. They remembered the satisfying click, the solid feedback, the reliability. They remembered the Model M online communities formed. Enthusiasts began hunting for old Model M keyboards. Prices on eBay started climbing. People discovered that these 20-year-old keyboards still worked perfectly, while the cheap replacements died after 6 months. A passionate community emerged, sharing cleaning techniques, restoration tips, and hunting strategies. They developed a vocabulary: bolt-modded, floss-modded, barrel-plated. They could identify different Model M variants by their part numbers and manufacturing dates. The resurrection in 1996. 2 former Lexmark employees did something remarkable. They bought the rights to the Model M and founded Unicom. They're still manufacturing buckling spring keyboards today using the original IBM tooling and patents. While Unicom keyboards aren't quite identical to original IBM Model M keyboards, they're close enough to satisfy most enthusiasts. More importantly, they proved that there was still a market for quality keyboards in a world of disposable electronics. The mechanical keyboard renaissance of the 2010s owes much to the Model M. When keyboard enthusiasts introduced Cherry MX switches to gamers and typists, they were often compared to buckling springs. The Model M had kept the dream of quality keyboards alive during the dark ages. Legacy and lessons today. A well-maintained IBM Model M can sell for over $200. Rare variants like the space-saving keyboard or industrial Model M command even higher prices. These keyboards are 30 to 40 years old, and people are paying premium prices for them. What does the Model M teach us? That quality endures. That user experience matters. That sometimes the old ways were actually better. In our rush toward thinner, lighter, and cheaper, we lost something valuable. The Model M represents a philosophy of engineering that prioritized function over cost, longevity over planned obsolescence, and user satisfaction over profit margins. It's a relic from a time when IBM's motto was "Think," and they actually meant it. The IBM Model M proves that great design is timeless. Decades after accountants declared it obsolete, people still seek out this legendary keyboard because nothing modern quite matches it. It's a reminder that sometimes the best technology isn't the newest technology. If you enjoyed this deep dive into keyboard history, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We explore the forgotten tech that changed the world, one story at a time. Drop a comment telling us about your favorite vintage tech. Are you Team Model M, or are you happy with your modern keyboard? Let's debate in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep clacking.